Okay, good morning students. In our last class we have seen the concept of inheritance. We just started the concept of inheritance and I defined the inheritance as deriving a new class in terms of an already existing class. That is, you have written a class with data members and member functions and you are writing another class and you want to use the already existing features in the new class, then simply what we do, we derive the new class from an already existing class. In that scenario, we said the old class we call it as the base class, parent class, okay, and super class. We have synonyms for that one. And the newly created class we call it as the derived class, child class, and subclass. Okay. So the terminology is very important over here. You have to understand whenever these terms comes in your reading. Suppose if you are reading a textbook and they are saying the base class, you have to understand it as a parent class. Okay. So the definition we have seen and how we are going to derive the syntax we have seen. Okay. And we have seen the access control. By deriving a child class from the base class, what data members and what member functions we can inherit into the derived class. And we said only private members are restricted. Only private members are restricted in case of inheritance. And rest of all, like public and protected, you can access from the base class to the derived class, from the parent class to the child class, unless you have imposed any further restriction. There are ways by which we can give more protection to your data members. If that kind of protection is implemented, even the derived classes, they cannot access your data members. That we will see in our upcoming classes, in your further classes. But for now, you simply remember, unless a special type or any further protection is given to your data members, the derived classes can access the public and protected members without any restrictions. Clear? So as you can see over here with this table, I have explained, I have given the clarity on that. Simply, I said within the class we can access all the data members. Okay, even the data member is private, within the class you can access it. Outside the class, only the public members you can access. The last category I am explaining over here. Outside the class, you can access only the public data member. Private, protected, they are restricted. But when we are talking about derived classes, which are derived from the existing base class, you can access public as well as protected data members. And private data members, they still have restriction from access. Okay, so this is something we said. So in order to explain quickly, I will take one simple class example and I will derive one class from the parent class and I will explain what data members you can access into the derived class. So let us assume we have a class with name ABC. So class A, B, C. Or as we are discussing about inheritance, it is better to take the class name as base class only, just to resemble the concept with the example. Just to give a resemblance between the concept and the example, I am taking the class name as base class. So my class name is base class and in it I am declaring three data members, one public, one private and one protected. Okay, three data members. So first I am declaring the public data members, so that is int A. Clear? Then protected data member int B. And I am declaring third data member, that is private int C. So three data members I have declared inside my class. The class name is base class. A is Public data member, B is protected and C is private. So I am closing the definition. Later on, as per our need, as per our requirement, if something I need to add, that I will add afterwards. But for now, you consider this class as A, B, C. Yes, to initialize these variables, definitely we need either the member functions or the constructors. That you know, that those concepts we already discussed. Either we can use member functions in order to access, in order to initialize these data members, or we can go for constructors as well. So, but for now, I am closing the class definition with these three declarations, three data member declarations. Now you close this one and put the semicolon at the end. Put the semicolon at the end. So now what I will do, I will declare one derived class. I will define what derived class by inheriting from this base class. So my class definition will go something like this. Class, okay, the keyword class followed by the class name which you are defining now. So I am defining derived class. So that I am taking my class name as derived class. Okay, then the inheritance operator, that is single colon, derivation or inheritance operator. We call it as inheritance operator, single colon, followed by the mode of inheritance. That also we will discuss in my next slide, that is modes of inheritance. Okay, so three different modes we have: public, private and protected. So let us assume that the first type of mode we are discussing over here, that is the public mode. Public followed by the, from which class you are deriving this derived class, that class name you have to put here. So I am trying to derive this derived class from my base class. So that you take over here, base class. Clear? So now in this also, yeah, this derived class, it not only inherits the properties from the base class, it can also have its own properties. It can also have its own properties that we are going to define over here, that we are going to declare over here. So inside the derived class, what I am doing, I am taking two more or three more data members, that is public int x, protected int y, then private int z. Okay, so now close this class as well. Close this class as well. So in order to access the data members, what we have to do, we have to create the suitable objects of these classes. We have to create the suitable objects of these classes, that we do inside the main function, isn't it? That we do inside the main function. As we don't have any space over here, so what I will consider, I will simply write the statements, but when I execute on the compiler, I will include those statements inside the main function. So for now, you simply remember this statement. So if I create an object of my base class, if I create an object of my base class, what data members I can access from the main function. So let us assume inside your main function, int main, inside your main function, what I am doing, I am creating an object to this base class. So how can I create base class, okay, BC, base class. Like this I have created my base class object. So using this base class object, what data members I can access? I can access the public data member A, public data member A, because it is yes, using the BC directly. If you try to access like this, BC dot A, you can access this one. This access will be granted because A is public, and outside the class, whatever access you are doing, that is you are doing inside the main method. Inside the main method, you are trying to access this A variable directly. As this A variable is public, that access is allowed. But can we access BC dot B, is it possible? No, it is not possible because B is protected data member. B is protected data member. Next is private. Private C. Can we access BC.C? Is it possible? No, this is also not possible because again C is private and outside the class it is not possible. Whatever you are doing inside the main method, that we will consider as outside the class only. If you declare a method inside this class and you try to access these data members with the help of that function or with the help of that method, it is allowed because that function will come inside the class. Okay. There is a what we call important note you have to consider. Whatever method you are declaring, whatever function you are declaring in order to access the data members, that function must be public. Then only you can access. If you make that function as private, again you cannot have access to that private function. Again, you cannot have access to that private function. Okay, you remember in that way. So now only A variable you can access, B and C they are restricted. Okay, so next what I am doing, I am trying to create a derived class object now. I am trying to create a derived class object now, and with the help of that derived class object, what data members I can access, that options we have to see. Clear? That options we have to see. So quickly what I am doing, I am creating an object of my derived class. So take the class name derived class DC. Derived class DC. So using this DC, what data members I can access? What data members I can access? So first let us consider the derived class options only, the derived class data members only. Then we'll go for the base class. And you have to understand this connection between the base class and derived class. Your derived class is derived from the base class. So it will inherit some of the properties from the base class. What some of the properties in the sense? Only the public and protected properties it will inherit into the derived class. So now I will explain that thing. So can we access this X, DC.X? Can we access this? Yes, this access is possible. Can we access DC.Y? No, we can't. This is something outside the class. Y is a protected member and we are trying to access outside the class. Outside the class, protected member, no access. Then can we access DC.Z? Z, that is also not allowed. Because again, we are going for outside the class and private members, they are completely restricted. So then go for the base class data members. So when you are considering the base class data members into the derived class, you have to look for two things. You have to look for two things. What mode of inheritance we are following? What mode of inheritance we are following, and what is the access specifier of the data member? What is the access specifier of the data member? First we have to check for mode, then we have to check for the access modifier, access specifier. So when you consider this A from the base class, when you consider this A, so what is the access specifier for this A? It is public. Public means it can be inherited from the base class to derived class. Public means it can be inherited from base class to derived class. So after checking the access modifier, we have to check the mode of inheritance. What is the mode of inheritance? Public. So if the mode of inheritance is public, yeah, whatever data members you are inheriting from the base class into the derived class, their access modifiers are not going to be changed. They will remain as it is into the derived class as well if the mode of inheritance is public. So now, right now, my mode of inheritance is public. So this A will become public into the derived class and this B will become protected into the derived class. Can we get C into the derived class? No, we can't, because C is private, and as you can see, into the derived classes, private members we don't have access. Into the derived classes, private members we don't have access. So only the public member as well as protected member we will inherit into the derived class, and after inheriting, their access specifier their access specifier is dependent on the mode of inheritance. If your mode of inheritance is public, then there is no change in their access modifier. So ultimately what I will get from the base class into the derived class here is I will get public int A. This is just for your understanding I am writing. In reality it will not happen like this. Only the object will be created, and that object internally it will get the data members from the base class. So for your understanding I am writing over here like this. So public int A, then protected int B. Yeah, can we get C? No C, because it is private in base class. So if your mode of inheritance is public, you will get the data members A and B with their access specifiers as it is without any change. So as you can see, here public, here protected, here protected. So right now using this derived class object DC, what data members I can access from these two? So can I access DC dot A? Yes, because its access modifier is public, so I can access. So then DC dot B, is it possible? No, it is not possible, because B's access modifier is protected, and outside the class we cannot access that protected data member. Clear? That protected data member I cannot access because its access modifier is protected, and we are trying to access outside the class. Quickly go outside the class, protected, no access. Clear? So next we'll change this mode of inheritance to protected. If you try to inherit the data members in protected mode, then what will happen? If you try to inherit the data members in protected mode, yeah, how the data members will get inherited? How the data members of the base class will get inherited into the derived class, that we will see over here. So now from the base class, how many data members I can inherit? Two. Private, public, protected. So public A, it will become protected into the derived class because our mode of inheritance is protected. So what I will get over here? Protected int A. Clear? Then protected int B. Like this. So just what will happen? Whatever data members you have public, they will become protected, and whatever data members you have protected, they will become protected only into your derived class from the base class. So here I have A. Okay, its access specifier is public, and I am inheriting this public into the derived class, and my mode of inheritance is protected. So that A will become protected. Next I have what? I have B. Okay. I have B. I am inheriting this B into the derived class because B's access specifier is protected. So I can inherit that into the derived class. So after inheriting, what will be the access specifier? Protected only, because my mode of inheritance is protected. So now after these change in mode of inheritance, can I access A and B outside the class? No, it is not possible. So simply this A also I cannot access. This A also I cannot access. The reason A's data modifier now, A's access modifier now, it is protected. So that is the reason I cannot access A outside the class. So the next thing, if your mode of inheritance is private, then what will happen? Private mode of inheritance. Then what will happen? Can I access, how these data modifiers, mode of inheritances will change, that we will see first. Mode of inheritances, how they will change. So now in this, now my mode of inheritance is private. So A, it is having public access modifier. Can I inherit this A into my derived class? Yes. After inheriting A into my derived class, its mode of inheritance, what it will become? Private, because its access modifier, what it will become? It will become private. Private int A. Next is, yeah, can I inherit this B into my derived class? Yes, I can. So after inheriting, because its access modifier is protected, I can inherit this B into the derived class. So now, after inheriting, yeah, the protected data modifiers, the protected data members access modifier will become private only, int B, like this. So now, can I access these private members outside the class? No, again the access is restricted. Again the access is restricted. In that way you remember. So whenever we are talking about, can you just change the slides, ma'am? Whenever we are talking about, next slide, yeah, mode of inheritances, yeah, you have to remember these things. Okay, further we will discuss in our next video. Thank you.